Good evening to everybody watching on Facebook Live and YouTube Live, and good evening as well once again to everyone here in the house. For those of you just tuning in, you have now logged on to stream the Front Range Groove. This is our monthly 1-hour feature segment of the Overpaired Open Mic. Now, if you're watching from somewhere here in the Colorado Springs area, you can feel free to come on down to Jive's Coffee Lounge, 16 Cold Run Court. We are right across from Bancroft Park in the old Colorado City neighborhood of Colorado Springs. We'll be doing our thing until 10 p.m. That's Mountain Time if you're on the East Coast. But if you're here in the area, feel free to come on down, catch the rest of the open mic, because this broadcast is only going to last an hour. We're going to bring you a single feature artist, because that's what I do on the last Wednesday of every month. I bring one music act, or I'll bring in two spoken acts, such as poets, comedians. If it's the double act, they each get 20 minutes. If it's the music act, they get 40 minutes. Now, big thing about this set is it is all original material. No covers, no covers, no covers. For those of you watching online that have been watching my stream since I started back in 2013, you know that when it comes to this stuff, one, I get tired of the calls and emails from both the fake and real record labels about copyright and all that other good stuff. But also, with, goodness, March will be 25 years of my performance career, both as a poet and as an MC. I love my cover artists, I do. Thank you, Lee. Thank you very much. I love my cover artists, I do. However, I want to showcase the singer-songwriter, the poet-writer, the creative, and their original work. That is what I want to spotlight. And I grew up watching things like Storytellers Unplugged, Behind the Music, so I fell in love with the listening room singer-songwriter environment, and I've brought that to almost every one of my live streams over the past decade. Now, at the end of the set, we're going to be doing a Q&A with our feature, and then I'll be talking about some more things that go on, such as the Friday bookings, the Exquisite Corpse that we also do once a month, offset with the live stream, some other stuff like that. So once again, if you are here in the Springs area, feel free to come on down to Jive's Coffee Lounge. We'll be here until 10 or until the list runs out, whichever happens first, but it's a full list, so that ain't going to happen. In the meantime, this artist I'm going to bring to you, they started performing with us almost 2 years ago now, I believe, and blew me away right away. This is one of a handful of artists that have at one time or another been part of our stable of regulars here at Jives, where even their cover songs, they own the moment so much that I forget sometimes they're playing covers. Sometimes it takes me a second until I hear a certain line or something, and then I'm like, oh, that's right, that's a cover song, okay. But their originals are absolutely fantastic. I got them out not too long after they started performing with us, got them on an earlier broadcast, got them out with a fundraiser for a nonprofit I used to be on the board for, and they're doing their own gigs, their own thing, and they're here to give us their time, their heart, their music, maybe some of their poetry. Let's find out. Ladies and gentlemen watching online, and ladies and gentlemen here at Jives, please put your hands together, drum some up, my clubs. Welcome up to the stage, Jasper Rose.
Hi. Hello, everyone. As North said, my name is Jasper. I'm going to play some originals for you today, and I hope you enjoy them as much as I enjoyed writing them. This song is called Through Fire. We good to go, North? Thank you all for coming. She was good for me, and I was good for her. night sky above us as we exist below. Imagining the vastness of it all. She came along like a summer breeze, and then she left with such gentle ease. It's almost magic, brujeria if you will. The way her eyes called to me through the vastness of the hills. The fire penetrating me beyond your piercing eyes. Your flames, I'm mesmerized. She came along like a summer breeze. Eyes through fire, burning desire. It's where I belong. Thank you. I hope you are all well on this beautiful Wednesday evening. My name is Jasper. It's beautiful to be here and be present with all of you and see all of your faces. Thank you for being here. I'm going to share some poetry. The song I just sang is called Through Fire. And this poem I'm about to read is called Domestic Terrorism. Here we go. Domestic terrorism doesn't knock. It kicks down the door, reeking of arrogance and privilege. There are no boundaries and there was no invitation. It has attempted to make its roots in our home and corrupt our love. But our love cannot be corrupted. Like a cliff near the ocean or a tree in the forest, we are planted, firmly carrying each other. For our language is love. As we live in a world that demands us to change, our rebuttal will be hatred is hollow, and if we're loud enough, its echoes will be so loud that its walls will begin to tremble and crumble. There is strength in our love and in our unity. Thank you, thank you. I wrote that for my fellow queer people after the incident of us losing a lot of people, and it's important for us to bring and shed light on the things that we experience as a community. And it's important for other people to know that they are not alone. Alrighty then, on to the next. This song is called Sidelines. I wrote this song for someone who loved me from afar and didn't really let me love them in truth. So here we go. It's the summer morning, I hear your breath, so I turn around, taking the rest. You scooch on over and give me a kiss. I'll always remember moments like this. You make me coffee and bring it to bed. Unanswered questions float in my head. The road is winding and lonely at that. Left empty-handed with my shoes in my hand. I can't love you from the sideline. I can't love you from afar anymore. So I walk away with my head held up high, and at night sleep sings my own lullaby. I believe you when you said that it was me in the end. I'm feeling foolish, second best. I've been beguiled and laid to rest. Ripping scenes as I'm looking blood in the wrong places. So it seems that I'm trying to fill my own spaces. Show me your heart, tell me your truth. I can't love you from the sidelines. I can't love you from afar anymore. So I walk away with my head held up high, and at night a stream sings my own lullaby. Thank you. Once again, that song's name is Sidelines. I wrote that on behalf of somebody who wanted me to love them from afar, and I just realized that that's not what I was meant for. So I'm going to read you another poem. For those of you who just walked in, my name is Jasper Rose. Thank you so much for being here and for accompanying me with all of your presence and your beautiful faces. I hope you are enjoying your Wednesday as much as I am. This poem is called Sunday Blues. I'm feeling the Sunday blues, where I'm trying to get back to you. You see, these words can easily be misconstrued. This isn't about some lost lover. It's about feelings undercover, about my mental health and how my thoughts hover. Lately, I've been a Debbie Downer, trying to smile while I'm fighting a frown or keeping my head up in every encounter. What's going on, people ask, as if they could swim in my response and bask while I'm holding up this heavy mask. I don't have it in me to respond, and suddenly it all dawned, and this one thought took me beyond. It's okay to be sad. It's okay to grieve over what you once had, and it's even okay if this makes you mad. You're not yourself, they tell me, as I'm consumed by what could be and replaying my history. I know that I'm different now, as if the word survivor is a compliment somehow. Like I'm on display, and so I take a bow. I'm tired of being tired, and I'm tired of feeling like a smile is always required, or like I have to constantly be inspired. I can't always create. Like my purpose is to generate these feelings, they perpetuate. Sometimes I'm in a room full of people, yet I feel so alone. Jasper's so positive, let it be known. But I'm in a weird headspace, and it's not that I haven't grown. I've just experienced life, that's all. And I'm telling you right now, this isn't something small. Throughout life, I've built up these walls. I want to let people in, I promise I do, but with the experiences I've had and the stuff I've been through, I can't really tell the difference between what's a lie and what's true. I want to believe that people want to be friends, where there are no expectations and it depends, where love abides, exceeds, and extends. Thank you, thank you. I think it's very beautiful to dive into all forms of art. Me specifically, particularly, I like to mess around with words. So it's good to be able to be here and to be able to show you what I've come up with. Gonna sing another song. I didn't really come up with a title for this, but here we go. A friend of mine actually helped me write this. She's outside. She taught me the chord progressions, and she said, this sounds better with this. And I was like, you know what? You're not wrong. So thank you to my friend. Filling the sky now, they're passing the place, and I used to stay. A warm breeze is weaving in slowly, it carries a voice I used to know. And I carry this guilt of how it all went wrong. Aimlessly wandering, searching for peace. Will I ever reach it? Thank you, thank you. I've yet to come up with the title for that song. Little history on that song. Love makes you bitter. And maybe it's actually the lack of awareness in love that makes you bitter. So, correction, because love doesn't make you bitter. And, oh man, I got tired of it. I was over it. I was like, yeah, none of this no more. So I wrote that song out of pain, of not wanting to write any more love songs. And none of these are love songs. They're all breakup songs. So if you guys want to be in love, I'm not your guy. All right. I'm going to read this poem that means a lot to me. I wrote it for my dad. My therapist was like, face that. And I was like, okay. And it hurt, and it was so painful. Here we go. I don't know why I stretched my neck like I was about to kick a soccer ball. You didn't call me for my birthday. Something I expected, yet somehow it still made me sad, reminding me of those moments I'd fall asleep waiting by the window for you. 4 days later, I text you Happy Father's Day, and I receive an I love you, baby girl. Like that's something you've been calling me for years. You've called me that a handful of times, thinking that it belongs to you, not knowing that I am not your baby girl. I am your baby boy, your son that has grown up without his daddy, your son that resembles every shadow and curve of your face. I was never daddy's little girl, and daddy's little boy hid in the corner waiting to have a hand to reach out and a voice to say that it's okay to come out now. But I was afraid, scared that if I was different, I'd become a burden to you, so it would give you even more reason to leave. Though I am different, majestically floating in the constant becoming, endless hours spent wondering why you didn't try, as I witnessed my mother in a continuous state of crumbling and regathering, living so close to you, yet feeling so distant. You were conceived through deceit and violence, birthed by a woman consumed by fierce love, a woman who didn't have a choice in the matter. So who is to blame? Where do I point the finger, and what is responsible for my pain? Because hurt people, and you had no real example of what it looked like to be a father, and I had exactly the example of the kind of person I did not want to be. I placed the blame for my wrongdoings on my genetics, feeding the idea that something was wrong with me, and so it grew. Self-sabotage became second nature because that inner child that has held my hand throughout life was muted. I paid no mind to them because I deemed my older self superior, not wanting to remember that little kid that wanted nothing more than to be his father's mijo. I grew silent, and in doing so, I began to listen, finding a familiar voice that was once mine. It never occurred to me that I had been buried for so long, and I, the culprit, holding the shovel. The son of a brave woman whose life has been no easy feat, and a coward man who has done nothing but ran in his life. A combination that has molded and shaped my soul into the constellations that form me. I cast grace with intention into the thoughts of my father. Understanding that just as I had no choice of being his son, he had no choice of being his father's. Being born into poverty only because of the color of his skin and the language of his people. Generations of survival, all so that he could run away. Not even passing on the torch, because that would be too much work. You didn't call me for my birthday, though I'm leaving room for you in my heart. I'm freeing myself of this cycle we have grown accustomed to. Ooh, the next song is so fun, and I'm excited to play it for you. I have a lot of fun with this song. I'm going to be honest with you, I'm a little hesitant to say this because I know that this is being streamed, and there are people in my life who don't know this yet, but here you are doing it with me. I wrote this song about being trans, and thank you. And it's fun. I love it. So here we go. Pocket of my shorts are deep. I don't have sweet things to keep. Living in a place I don't have the space to be myself. So I start to advocate. Some of you can relate. Taking off the shelf, I am somebody else. Where is myself? Oh, it's time to live in my truth. Oh, it's time to give up the fight. Oh, 'cause I love you enough to tell you the truth. The name you gave me isn't mine. Woo! And I will forfeit your divine. It isn't love with conditions. I'm asking you to listen. We are the light of this world. Love you enough to tell you the truth. Da 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 da. Oh, I love you. Thank you, thank you. Thanks. I appreciate you being here, and I just appreciate, I know so many faces here, and it's just so beautiful to be supported by people. Seriously, sometimes it gets lonely, and it's good to have those people who show you the support and who show up for you, even when you least expect it. Alrighty, so I'm gonna read another poem. I wrote this song, or this poem, I know I wasn't gonna say any love poems, but I decided I changed my mind. So here we go. My thoughts of you keep stacking like a game of Jenga. Is this truly where I want to be, sifting through leftover feelings of unopened pain? I am made to love you. This I can feel with the spaces of my silence, filling my head with unimaginable lines written in your handwriting. Her warmth is too good to be true. This is what I'm telling myself. This I don't deserve. Her soft lips on my cheek as she giggles my name into existence. As her hand softly caresses the back of my neck and everything in me tingles. Your goodness fills the surrounding echoes of the emptiness that lives in me. I thought I was hollow. I thought I was no good, like a cigarette butt tossed in the wind. Yet you caught me so swiftly, like you do in midair. And you reminded me, the breath that is within me is the same breath that lifts your spirits when I use it to say I love you. Something I truly mean every time I say it. The gravity of the moon pulls me and pushes me out like a wave gently swaying and saying its hellos to the shore. I feel alive, like a beetle in the desert, thriving in such harsh environments. I am meant to love you the same way a sunflower is destined to love the sun. I was inspired, if you will. I had a muse. I hope you all have been enjoying yourselves. I got one more song for you, and then I believe that is my time. At 40? Right. So, I will sing a song and then do some more poetry. This song is a little deep, I'm not gonna lie. It's kind of hard to listen to sometimes because it's very subtle, but vulnerability, here we go. I'm bipolar, and that's hard. It's hard to exist with that. And I just want to shed light on it and show people, like, it's okay to be where you're at. So sorry if this song is really hard for you to listen to. It was hard for me to write. Where do the uncried tears go? It's a vulnerable song, man. You know, it's talking about like life being hard. Sometimes you don't want to, you know. But I'm glad I did, and I'm glad each and every one of you did. Yeah. So anyway, my name is Jasper Rose. Much love to you all. So grateful for you being here. I was a little nervous at first, but that went away. So much love. Thank you.
All right, everybody in the house, everybody online, keep it going for Jasper Rose, please. For those of you that tuned in online late or walked into the house late, this is the Front Range Groove, our 1-hour feature segment of the Overpaired Open Mic that we do on the last Wednesday of every month. Once again, if you tuned in late, what I do is I take either one musical act or I'll take two spoken acts, such as poets, comedians. For the spoken acts, I'll get 20 minutes each. For the music act, they get 40 minutes. The key is all original material. No covers, no covers, no covers. Covers are cool for regular open mic. If I book you for my Friday showcase, covers are cool for the Friday showcase, not for the stream. I'm showcasing the creative and their original work. We just got done listening to Jasper Rose, and yeah. Did fantastic up here,
Thank you.
as I knew you would. I'm telling Jasper a little bit. A couple days ago, Jasper reached out to me and was like, North, I don't know if I can fill that set. You know, I don't know if I have 40 minutes. I said, well, it doesn't have to be exactly 40 minutes. I mean, but what do you have? And Michaela was with me, and I looked at Michaela, and I was like, what's Jasper talking about? Oh, no, wait, last time Jasper did a set that long for me, it was covers. Okay. And so I came back, and I was like, did you include time to engage with the crowd? And Jasper was like, oh, yeah, didn't think about that. And then my poetry, and I was like, yes! You know, that's one of the things. There are so many times during open mic, a 15-minute set, you see just a fraction of what an artist can do. If you, those of you watching online, the open mic actually starts at 6 and runs until 10. So before the stream, we had Zeth up here, and Zeth just played guitar, but, you know, multi-instrumentalist, blah, blah, blah. Now we're going to learn a little bit about Jasper Rose. We've had these conversations a couple times to include once on a stream, but that was a while ago. So if I double tap questions, please forgive me. But let's go ahead and start with this. I've watched an evolution, not so much in your playing style, but in the energy that you put out. Now, from the first moment I saw Jasper on stage, I mean, they blew me away, and I was just like, yes! But I've really watched not just the energy, but so much more heart come into it. If you could, just for a minute, talk to me about how you've perceived your evolution from when we first met, first time you came in Jives, up to tonight.
Sure. Well, I
Go ahead.
I didn't really start playing instruments for like other people other than the church until 2021 when I came to Jives. I played mostly for my local church. I was a drummer. And when I came to Jives, I was very intrigued, mostly because of the kind of vulnerability and safe space that is provided here. I just love seeing people do what they love to do. And as I began to dive into that, I didn't really start doing covers and writing until, covers I started in 21, and I didn't start writing until last summer. So I didn't really know that was in me. I was with someone who had expressed to me that they felt like I wasn't good at singing, and they were a music teacher. And so I believed them, And I suppose what happened is I just gained my own agency, and I grew awareness, and I was like, wait a minute, Jasper, you are awesome. And I just kind of evolved from there. Yes.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah, go ahead, give it up. I don't know if there's any such thing as too much love, at least not in my book anyway. So, I mentioned earlier, I name dropped Zeth and, multi-instrumentalist. You mentioned doing drums. And I also know, I'm pretty sure I've seen you on the keys before. Shared your poetry. We've talked poetry a number of times. But guitar seems to be where you really concentrate a lot of your creative energy. If you could talk to me a little bit about how you came into your own with guitar versus any other instrument or form of expression.
Sure. Well, I'm actually wearing a necklace that was given to me by my grandpa. He gave it to me when I was 13 years old. And it's something that we just kind of, a way that we bonded together. And so I grew attached to it. I will say, I do wish I played the piano more. Okay. I just don't have one. And the mobility of the guitar is nice for me because I'm always moving around. It's just a thing. And I like that I can haul it around. My involvement for the love of guitar truly stems from my grandpa, though. And I would wake up and I would hear the coffee brewing, and I would hear him playing his guitar, and he played in his living room. He was an early bird. and it woke me up. I was like, but that was such a beautiful thing to be woken up by, your grandpa just existing, and we still have him, gracias a Dios, thank God. But, I hold it very dear to my heart because I love my grandpa, and it was a way for us to get to know each other. Although there were parts that were hindering us to grow together, music truly allowed us to meet in the middle.
That's good. Mm-hmm. That's good. That's beautiful. It reminds me of this song from a line from Red Hot Chili Peppers song, "Can't Stop." Music, the great communicator, you use two sticks to make it into nature. And there's so much that we can do there. There's so much that we can do, not just through our music, our poetry, whatever the case may be, but through the conversations about it. Now, you and I know from talking with each other, as well as people here and people that aren't here right now, ways to develop both formal and informal workshops, jam sessions, collaborating, but also conversations like these. And sometimes it's not just technical stuff, it's also the emotional. If it hits you here, that's going to stay with you. So, I like to support the idea that we are all mentors. So if you could talk a little bit, for those who might be wondering about how you get into your songwriting or even your poetry writing, do you have a particular writing method? My favorite example being my favorite band, U2. They tend to write the music, and Bono comes in and improvises lyrics over it, and a year later, the label convinces him to write those down. What's your creative process?
I definitely have to allow myself to be in a space where I feel safe. And so I do it mostly in my home. I've recently started doing it in other homes and and places that I felt more comfortable in with people. And I was quite excited about that, being able to have more of a space than the one that I had. I'd like to be alone, honestly, when I'm writing. It's important for me. Truly, writing is vulnerable. And the poem that I wrote for my dad, it was very healing for me because I don't want to tell him that, but I told the paper that. And just the same way, the song Deep Pockets I wrote about being trans, I don't have to explain myself to anyone because my song does it. My process is truly just allowing myself to, first of all, start. I am a procrastinator like you would not believe. I will be honest with you, that last song I wrote today. And thank you, yeah, thanks. And man, I was stressing. But, you know, I had to prioritize it. But I guess methodically, the way that I do it is I write, I find the music first. I find a key that I'm just feeling, and then I start humming to it. And then, as you've heard me, I make songs on the spot. Used to be a thing that I do at the end of my sets. I haven't done that in a while.
And it's awesome.
Yeah, it's fun. But, you know, you just play a chord that you're into, and then you're like, okay, I can dig on this. And then you just start humming to it. As far as emotionally and what I find in the words I write, I have to believe what I say. You know, like that lyric, save me from myself. I don't know if I can stand the thought of doing it tomorrow and doing it again. Like, that was so deep in me. You know, it's vulnerable to admit that to someone, right? Like, this is what I'm feeling. It's hard. How do I reach out for help?
Yeah.
And it's even more hard to write it in a song. But I did it. And ultimately, I'll be real with you, I do what I do because it's healing for me. I feel so healed, and it's so beautiful. I mean, the wounds that I've had, you know, people say time heals, and I suppose to an extent that is true, but I would imagine more so it's intention. Intention heals.
Yes.
And that's what I do. I'm intentional with my words and the way that it intertwines with my music.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. I love that. I love that. Oh, man.
Thank you.
Getting me all emotional up here. I mean, you are, because in my own way, there are some things you say where I know what it felt like for me when I had those thoughts in my head, those things to say the way you're describing. And you and I both know it is very difficult not only to bear yourself to another person like that, but to do it in front of a crowd, and then to do it with your creativity, to do it through that medium of music or poetry or even dance, storytelling, acting, whatever the case may be. So here we go back more on the mentor track here. What is it that keeps you bringing that stuff to the forefront? Because it's one thing, not many people can come up and do covers the way you do. But hypothetically, anyone can come up and play a cover and put their own twist on it and this and that and the other. But when you do, you pour all that heart and emotion, regardless of what it is. Same way you do with your original music. What keeps you coming back to that spot? Or you're going to bear yourself like that?
I think when you've felt so much instability in life, because I have. Thank you to my mom who raised me, but there were moments. I have to remember this is being streamed. As much as I experience instability, us teachers, we like to call it a baseline. You know, where are we on our baseline? And I find it in music. I feel so leveled, like you would not believe in music. It's just, everything is so chaotic, man. Everything, you know, the way people treat each other, the way we get paid, you know, the way this country is ran. I'm speaking truth. And and it's hard to live in a world like that, you know. But when I pick up that guitar and when I strum a chord, I mean, does it hurt when other people are like, yeah, that was okay? Yeah, of course it hurts, of course. And is it healing to know that you were a contributor to that kind of magic? Yeah, dude. Like, I am a magician, you know? And I know that sounds like silly, but like,
No, it's true.
I mean, how many of us listen to music on the daily on our way to work? You know, exactly. 5:30 a.m. You ain't wrong, girl. We got to be at work at 6 o'clock. You know. But I was thinking about this morning, about how we all take very similar routes in our life. You maybe have 2 or 3 routes going to your mama's or going to work. But it's never the same experience because of the different songs that you listen to. You say the same tree. You're in the same car. But that music is what changes you and moves you and motivates you, and it makes you feel different. And that's why I do it. To be different. And to provide stability for those who have experienced instability.
So perfect. So perfect. All right, I got 2 questions for you, and I'm gonna let you go. Get you out of the hot seat, because I really do enjoy doing this part of the show.
I also like talking, so.
Yeah. Michaela's over here rolling her eyes. She's been caught up while you and I are like, okay, we're gonna go now, but Southern goodbye is a real thing, by the way. All right, so 2 questions. Gonna jump back on the music track real quick. Talk to me a little bit about your creative influences.
Man, I will say I really like Lake Street Drive. They're a phenomenal artists. Is that how you meant it? Mm-hmm. Okay. Jack Johnson. I just love listening to music where they just change it up when you least expect it. And then you're like, wait a minute. And then you're like, yeah, you know? It brings a whole other vibe. My mama always told me that I was born in the wrong era. I listened to a lot of Billy Joel. I listened to a lot of Elton John, Eric Clapton, Fleetwood Mac all the way. One would look at me and not imagine that I play folk music, indie folk, right? Maybe who knows? Maybe I sing or I rap, or I'm but it's what I play and I love it, and it was truly influenced. I would say mostly by Rayland Baxter, one of my favorites of all time. Just so beautiful on the guitar. And I will say my relationship with the genre that I play has been quite interesting. I've fought it for so long, and that's the reason why I fought you for so long about being up on this stage.
Yeah.
Because I didn't like the fact that was the genre I wrote. And it's what kept coming out. And I was like, there's no way I'm an indie folk artist. And then it came out, and I was like, this is actually so good.
That's...
So I suppose a lot of my influences, I would mostly say, is 70s. Soft rock from the 70s, for sure.
Okay. All right, last question. And sorry, I'm checking my watch, just kind of keeping an eye on the stream.
It's all good.
Last question. Again, on the mentor thing. We're all mentors, if for no other reason than by virtue of the fact you never know who is watching and learning from your example. And one word from you can speak volumes to another person. So, I end every Q&A with this question. If there is somebody here in Jive's Coffee Lounge, or somebody watching online from Facebook or YouTube, who either is afraid to get over that hump to present their original work, or is afraid to just get on a stage, share their music, their poetry, whatever the case may be, and they're watching and listening to you now on the chance that you can make a difference in that conflict they have, what words of wisdom would you have for them?
I would say that our music is not just for us. It's for our listeners. And someone actually just recently brought that to my attention. And it was a very nice eye-opener because they were right. When I came to Jives at first, if it weren't for the people on this stage, I would have never been inspired, and then I wouldn't have been on this stage. There is a message in your heart. There is some form of desire to be creative within you, and you can either feed it or ignore it. And truly, either way, you will grow up to be and evolve and become the person you're meant to be, truly. But I will say, tapping into that creativity makes life so much easier. Vulnerability is hard. And as I've said before, and I will always say, vulnerability is love with wings. How do we get anywhere if we don't expose ourselves? And how can we get from A to B if we're not honest? Seek out honesty, not for anybody else, but for yourself. Everything that I've written was honest and just wow. Like, wow, this is who they are. This is what they're feeling. Of course, you know, people always like, just do it. This isn't Nike. So I'm going to be real with you, and I'm going to say, have grace with yourself. Do what you can today. And then if you can't, save it for tomorrow. And if you don't do it tomorrow, it's all good. Tap into that creativity. And I look forward to hopefully seeing you here on stage. If you're out there watching this and you have the desire to be here. We're all rock stars, y'all. And we all deserve the spotlight.
Thank you. Everybody give it up one more time for Jasper Rose. All right, folks. For those of you watching online, this concludes the Front Range Groove, our 1-hour feature segment. We're going to go back to our regular open mic. If you're here in the Springs area, come on down to Jives Coffee Lounge, 16 Cold Run Court, right across from Bancroft Park in Old Colorado City, and enjoy some music, poetry, whatever it is we got coming at you for the rest of the sign-up sheet. We will be here until 10 or until the list is complete. You can join us any Wednesday. Sign-up starts at 5:30. Show kicks off at 6. In the coming weeks, we will be doing our monthly collaboration, The Exquisite Corpse, a blind collaboration in poetry. I'll be talking more about that with the crowd here. I offset it with the open mic, so or with the live stream. So we got the stream tonight. It's probably about 2 weeks when we do our next Exquisite Corpse together. You guys have any questions about that? You can hit me up at Poet Northstar across all social media. You can also check out at the Overpaired Open Mic on Instagram or join our Facebook group. You can also message Jives Coffee on Facebook or jives.coffee.lounge on Instagram or TikTok. Yes, TikTok, because Dord's a social media genius, and he loves to take my little 30-second open mic clips and turn them into promos and throw them up on TikTok. But before we go, I do want to let you guys know if you are interested in booking for the live stream, I have very specific requirements for it. First thing, as you heard tonight, all originals. Second thing, I need to see at least 4 or 5 open mic performances out of you before I will even consider talking dates with you, because it's one thing to entertain the crowd in front of you. It's another thing to keep the online viewers going. All right, so just a little something to bear in mind there. But if you have any questions about that, hit me up. If you go in our Facebook group, there's a guide section. It's got all the details on booking for the live stream and some on booking for our Friday features. In the meantime, ladies and gentlemen, those of you here in the house, just give me a few minutes, bring the stream down. We're going to go back to our regular sign-up sheet. Those of you watching online, thank you for joining us. Feel free to share this link out, as within the next 20 minutes, the full broadcast will be available for an offline view. Northstar online. Have a good night. Here in Jives, just give me a few moments. Thank you.